What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to take a look at the Ryobi 3 1/4 portable hand planer electric HPL52K model number. Now, let's unbox this thing here first. We'll show you what comes with this. And there was a couple different planers I was looking at. You know, they have Makita, DeWalt. I went with the Ryobi because it offered the carrying case. It offered a lot of different features that the other ones didn't. We'll talk about that. So this cost me about $60, I believe it was. And, you know, when I was looking at the other competitors, like the DeWalts and Makitas, they didn't offer the soft case. They didn't offer the rabbet edge guide, which is in that box right there. Here's the instructions. Not that great. You got the dust collector bag that does work half decent, and then you got the actual planer itself. So for a closer look, this is the dust collector bag, and it has a little zipper on the bottom there that allows you to empty that out a little easier. Then right here is the rabbet edge guide, and it's very easy to use, very easy to install. You have a couple different adjustments, which I'll show you in the video on how to do it. Now, as for this planer itself, this little sucker's heavy. You're looking at 9.6 pounds, almost 10 pounds for this thing, where the other competitors were weighing in around 5.5 up to about 7 pounds for their planers. Now, that being said, this planer does offer a 6-amp motor, which is a little bit bigger than the typical 5.5 motor, but at the same time, I don't know how they can justify the extra weight, the almost 3 to 4 pounds more just for a little bit of a larger motor. It's still a 3 1/4 width cut. I mean, it's not like it's a bigger cut. So it is a little bit heavier, it is a little bit bulkier, but I will say that it is built extremely well. It does come with a couple other features that we'll talk about, but all in all, this is a heavy little planer. Now, one of the coolest features about this is the adjustable dust bag. Now, I want to put it on this side here, and I can simply slide it on, and you can see this little switch in the front here. All I have to do is make sure that it's pointed towards that arrow going towards the right. If I wanted to bring it over to the other side, all I got to do is flip this little arrow right here, and now I can blow the dust that way, and the dust bag is never in my way. So they're always very innovative when it comes to Ryobi tools. Now, this thing has a built-in kickstand right on the bottom. So what's nice about this here is that you're not going to mar up any of your wood, scratch, or anything. It's going to come off about 1/8 of an inch from your material. So what you're going to do is you actually have to slide it, and it'll collapse itself. Now, this is a plus and a negative. So if I wanted to say start in the middle of a piece of wood, I really can't do that because the kickstand will not collapse unless I start from an edge and slide it forward. Now, this also offers a safety feature like a lot of other tools do. You just simply push that button right there, and now you can pull the trigger. Without pushing that button, you cannot activate this tool. So that's nice. If your kid runs up on it, tries to squeeze the trigger, it's not going to start up. You have to push that button and then squeeze the trigger. So another very cool feature is the built-in wrench they give you to change your blades. If you have to change a blade, instead of trying to find a wrench, or if you lose your wrench, you just slide it right in that little slot right there, and it stays nice and firm. So I love that little feature about this tool here. So another thing that this came with that the other competitors did not include was the rabbet edge guide. And this is really nice and very simple to do. So all you're going to do is put this on the side right here and then just screw it in. That's what that little screw does. And you can adjust the width just simply by screwing it and unscrewing it and adjusting it. That's all you have to do. So just going to put that over here and then tighten it down, and now you're able to make your rabbet edge guide cuts, and they're extremely accurate. I was really surprised how accurate it actually was. And now you can move this to the left or the right, it doesn't really matter, and it takes, I don't know, a couple seconds. For some reason I'm struggling here, but like I said, it's extremely easy to do, and it's really lightweight. It doesn't get in your way at all, and it's fairly accurate. So I'm really happy with that. And yeah, so you can see you can just slide this in and out, and you're good to go. And just turn that down so it doesn't move on you. And just to show you, this is what it looks like with the rabbet guide on. Very easy to use, nice and square, nice and flush, makes great cuts. I'm happy with it. Alright, so let's do some planing with this bad boy. You can adjust this from 1/96 of an inch up to 1/8 of an inch for depth. You can do that in increments of 1/96 of an inch. So even the smallest adjustment makes a huge difference for your depth, right? Now, you don't want to take one giant swipe at a board and just be done with it. Adjust it a couple times, take a little off at a time, and you will get better results. Even with this bag on here, you can see I'm still getting a lot of wood chips. Now, the wood does collect nicely in the bag, but it seems to be finer the better. The thicker, it does tend to clog a little bit, but other than that, it's not bad, and it's extremely smooth when you're done planing. Alright, so let's take a couple different passes at a couple different depths, and we'll see how well this thing actually works. So I have a higher setting right now, and it just cuts through like a hot knife through butter. Really, it's extremely smooth after you're done. Now, mind you, this is not a sander. You're still going to need to sand after you're done planing. All this is doing is taking the nasty piece of wood that you want to plane off, or maybe you're making a cutting board and you have a couple different pieces of scrap wood to set up higher than each other. You're just trying to get those level. That's it. That's what this tool does. If you have a door that's maybe too wide and you're having trouble getting it into the jamb, then you can actually shave that down a little bit. I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But let's adjust this all the way down to 1/8 of an inch, and I'll show you just how strong this is. We're going to cut right into this like nothing. And it's just a monster, it just destroys it. That's 1/8 of an inch, and it's still smooth. So if you wanted to clean that up, you can adjust the setting again and just go again. So, I mean, it just takes that wood, eats it up and spits it out like it's hungry, and it's just awesome. The motor, 16,500 RPM. I mean, that's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid motor. So, yeah, really happy with that. And just to give you an idea of what this thing sounds like, here we go. Now, say you had a door that was just a little too wide and you were hitting up against your frame. This is the perfect tool to plane that down and correct the width on it. It just works perfectly. It's so easy to do. Just run it all the way down the side of the door and you're good to go. It's just very smooth. Take down as much as you want. Let's crank it down all the way to 1/8 of an inch if we wanted to, and just start chomping away at it. And it just, I wish I would have had this a couple months ago when I was hanging all my doors. It just works perfectly. So really just happy with how it performs. And just to show you, only taking 1/96 of an inch off, say you're trying to remove stain even, it works great with that as well. So just very small light passes, just get that nice and smooth. This is where the bag really works well. You get that wood chip in there, and the finer stuff, it works very well. So yeah, there you go. I mean, it's just an awesome little thing. You can just adjust this to so many different depths, and you can see there's some high and low spots in that door. I'm not taking much off, but it just works very well and nice and smooth. And if I wanted to, I would just hit it with a sander again. That's all. And just to show you real quick, I had a couple pieces, scrap pieces really, of walnut and oak, and I just made a simple cutting board with this, and the width of these boards were different. I glued them together with some pipe clamps, and then I hit it with the planer. Once I took off the big nasty chunky crap that was on top of that wood and I made it all nice and level, I just hit it with the belt sander and voila, that was it. So there you go, the Ryobi 3 1/4 electric portable hand planer. Once again, HPL52K. Listen, I like this. Powerful 6.0 amp motor. This thing really goes. 120 volts. I never heard this thing bogging down, even when I was making the max cut of 1/8 of an inch into oak. No problem at all at 16,500 RPM. It is a little heavy in the hands. That's one of the downfalls. I will say that it is bulky and heavy. I don't really care for that. I can't really see where the added weight comes from, other than maybe, the wrench, which isn't that heavy to begin with, or maybe, the different sided bags, how you can place it on the right or the left, which I love that feature, by the way. And I love how this comes with the rabbet guide. It's great. And it comes with the carrying case. So could a professional use this? Yeah, absolutely. The max depth cut, 1/8 of an inch, cutting width 3 1/4, and rabbet cut is a 1/2 inch. So all in all, I really like it. I give it a 4-star. That's what I'm giving this. I just think it's a little too heavy, but other than that, I love every other feature. I think Ryobi is very innovative when it comes to their tools, and I think they did a good job on this. So if this has helped you, please thumbs up, subscribe, check us out at www.toolreviewzone.com, and we will have more videos for you soon.